Good golly, Miss Molly, sure like the ball. Woo, good golly, Miss Molly, sure like the ball.
Welcome back to The Five. As if we haven't had enough financial scares lately, now Moody's Analytics is saying another crisis could be just around the corner and that student loans would be the cause. In fact, they just released a formal statement warning the United States that student loans could actually blow up this economy. Could we put it on the screen, please? Let's take a look. Here's what they said. They said in the long run outlook for student lending and borrowers remains worrisome. Fears of a bubble and educational spending are not without merit. So, Dana, this looks like this has been coming down the pike for quite a while, but what's happening is graduating students cannot find a job in this economy, and if you don't have a job, you can't pay back your loans.
Right. So this has been building for a while. I remember when I was White House press secretary during the financial collapse of the fall of 2008. A lot of people are talking about Sallie Mae. We talk a lot about Freddie Mac and Fannie Mae. Well, Sallie Mae is the clever name they came up with for the student loan version of this. One of the problems is students are going to college, borrowing tons of money, can't get jobs. But one of the reasons is because of what they're studying. You know, if you get a job, if you get a okay, look, maybe I shouldn't name it, but let's just say sociology major, okay?
That's a good one.
There are not a lot of high-paying jobs in sociology right now. And so what the other thing Moody said is that student loan debt now outpaces credit card debt. And so while America has gotten more of a handle on its credit card debt, the student loan thing is just like a train coming down the track.
I got to say it's a really important point because I'm guilty of this too. I didn't learn anything in college. I was an English major. It made me dumber, if that's indeed possible.
Studying English made you dumber?
Yes, it did. I won't get into it here because I was drunk most of the time. But the thing is, not everybody that we've learned, not everybody was supposed to own a house. And not everybody was supposed to go to college. There's a lot of better things you can do, like get a job right out of high school or join the military. There's great things to do other than sitting and taking a sociology degree or a gender studies degree or any degree that lasts for 4 years in which you sit there and you don't understand what the hell's going on.
Yeah, but 4 years of partying.
Yeah.
I mean, who can beat that,
You can do that on your own in a room like I do.
Right, and not cost yourself a fortune and the government
or your parents.
Judge, let me ask you this, because in July of last year, President Obama actually nationalized a good part of the student loan industry.
I know,
what does that mean?
Juan is thrilled about that. I mean, look, most of the money comes from the federal government, and the federal government loans the money to banks, and then the banks loan the money to individuals, and they're supposed to pay it back. Here's the problem. I fully agree with Greg. A lot of people shouldn't go to college, just like a lot of people shouldn't have gotten loans to buy homes. It's the federal government using its financial power to dictate social policy. It wants people to own homes that can't afford them. It wants people to go to college that shouldn't be there. It wants to give people money to go to college who will never, ever be able to pay that money back. And now that bubble's about to burst.
And Juan, isn't that what we're talking about? We're talking about social engineering in the economy. It's blown up every single time.
I don't think it's partisan. I just think that
this is extremely partisan. Let me just say the reason that the president intervened last year was because there was groups of corporations, middlemen, who were getting in and making zillions of dollars off of loaning money to students who were in need. And so we eliminated that cost so we could put more money into young people who deserve an opportunity to be educated. Now to Mr. Gutfeld's point. Let me tell you something, Greg.
Yes.
You know what? I might have been one of those kids that you would have said, you don't deserve a chance to go to college.
I disagree.
And I think, you know what? I think if I can, on the basis of my merit and my hard work, get a scholarship or get a Pell Grant, and I'm working hard,
but
you should support me, Greg. You shouldn't say to me, don't go to college.
But
and finally,
I don't have
one
to
last
support
point,
anybody.
Dana.
I don't want to support anybody.
Well, you don't have to support anybody, but you know
Financially,
what?
metaphorically.
America is about being a land of opportunity. And we don't say to kids, you're from the wrong family and you'll never get ahead.
But I didn't say that.
Oh, yeah.
I did not say that.
That's what it boils down to. You go to these elite schools, all the BMWs and the Saabs in the parking lot.
Whether the government should pay for it, not whether or not people should have opportunity.
Dana, go ahead.
I'm not saying that the government shouldn't have some role in helping get people a leg up or whatever it might be. But when the taxpayers are going to be on the hook for a lot of money and it's putting our financial future in jeopardy, it endangers everybody who might have an opportunity or a chance to go to college.
Well, it's true. But here's the thing. But
not
again,
partisan.
To me, it is a priority for our country. If we want more entrepreneurial people who are going to create more jobs, who
well,
do
then
smart
they have to
things,
go to engineering
because our country, Greg, is no longer a blue-collar country where if you have a strong back and a will to work, you can get a job at the factory through your uncle who has a union
What's wrong
card.
with trade schools?
Hey, you know what? Because there aren't that many trade jobs. Now you have to have an education to really be a success.
No
in
one's
this
using that
economy.
education.
Yes, they are. And by the way, you know what? I'm a liberal arts philosophy major, and I think learning how to think critically, how to read, how to understand the world is very important.
I didn't get any of that.
You are making a great moral argument for the ability of people to pull themselves up by their bootstraps. But where in the Constitution is the federal government supposed to pay for this?
Nobody's supposed to pay. It's a matter of a priority. And clearly what the American people over generations have said is we want to support young people who have demonstrated an interest in getting an education.
I also think that every time we have seen the government engage in social engineering in facets of the economy, whether it's education, whether it's housing, we've seen a perversion of the free market, and we've seen a complete warping of the economy, and that's not good for the United States.
She gets the last
All right,
word.
guys, thank you. We got a jet. Coming up, there's nothing worse than buyer's remorse, especially when it comes to your president. Many are now asking themselves if Hillary Clinton would have been a better president than Barack Obama. We'll give you our 5 opinions next.
Stand under my umbrella.